All right, our next lesson, as stated, we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to run Metasploit, utilize Metasploit on that Samba 3.0.20 because we figured that out through our active reconnaissance. All right, so let's go ahead and let's open up MSF console. Now, so far, just kind of looking back, we got the IP address, right? Well, we ran the Docker. That's how we found our IP address. But if you're following along with the PDF, you'll see that we could have used maptech.sn to ping something, right? We could have used sudo netdiscover to see what else is out there and things like that. And that's, since we're pinging something, that would be active reconnaissance, like right there. From there, we then ran a mmap on all ports. We saw that port 445 was open. We went ahead and did some more active reconnaissance on that port 445. So far, 90% of what we've done is just active reconnaissance, right? Looking at what is out there and what can we do with it, right? And that's going to be 90% of what you do throughout the process is active reconnaissance. So let's go ahead and let's search now for that Samba. All right, we see a bunch of stuff in here. We'll go ahead and we'll exit out of here real quick. And we want to kind of just break this down a little bit further just because we're seeing, how many is it? 77 in here, right? First off, we're not looking for Windows. We know that much. So, but we're going to go ahead. We're going to go back up to the search plate and see what it's actually called. Username map script command execution, right? So let's go ahead and start to try to look through that. User map script. That sounds like it is, right? Samba username map script command execution, right? It's saying that has an excellent ranking, so most likely it's going to work, right? And we can go ahead and we can run this right here. So we're going to say use that script. We'll go ahead and we'll do a show options. And we have our lhost in here, right? Which our lhost, since we are on that Docker image, remember, we have to go ahead and get that 172. So we are 172.19.01, remember, because that's what can talk to 172.19.02. So we're going to go ahead and set our lhost to that. Lport you can leave as 4444. However, if this was real life or if we're on a Windows machine or if they had a firewall on their Linux machine or whatever else, you usually want to put it to something that you know it can talk to, like port 80, 443, 445, or ports that are already open in the file system, right? We usually want to look at things like that. Okay, we do have an R port of 139 here. That is okay because I believe if we cat our mmap.txt again, that 139 should be open, and it is. We have 139 and 445 are open. All right, so let's go ahead and set our R host as 172.19.02. And we'll go ahead and we'll hit run. We'll type in run, or you can also type in exploit, either one. And we'll see, does this actually get anything back? Do we find anything? And it does. We see a command shell session 1 opened. So let's go ahead and do an ID, and we are root on the Linux machine. So through all of our active enumeration, our active reconnaissance, we were able to find an exploit that we were 90% sure is going to work. We then fired off that exploit, and we were able to get root. You saw how quickly we got to here. Right, the mmap video is much longer than this. So we were able to do all that just through our active reconnaissance. As I said, active reconnaissance is probably the biggest part of penetration testing. And that's the part that most people don't like to do, is the reconnaissance portion of it, both passive and active. And that's usually the part that people don't want to do. They just want to hack something. You need to understand what is out there on the file system to actually be able to exploit those different protocols. All right. So hopefully you all learned something, and I'll talk to you all in the next lesson.